Hey, what's up? And we're back with day 27 of the 30 days of meditation. Day 27! What do you know? It's been a bit of a journey. I come on every day and I don't know what to say, but I just allow it to flow from what I feel. And today I want to talk a little bit about power and what that means to your meditation. Power is one of the essential ingredients to all of life. When I talk about power is oftentimes a misunderstood word because it's been mislabeled in a negative way in a lot of circumstances. But when I talk about power in meditation, I'm talking about Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy is the energy of life, and it's released in your meditation practice when you have the ability to concentrate on a single point. So in the single-pointed mind practice, we release the Kundalini energy. Now, why is power an important element to meditation? Without power, without energy, nothing happens. There's no life. You know, how were you made? How did you get here? Incarnation. There was a tremendous amount of power that made you, that made your body. You know, the act of sexual union between your mother and father was the act of life. There's a tremendous amount of power released during sex. And so, in meditation, we are building a new body. We're building a new person, a new version of ourselves. It's kind of like the act of birthing a new baby, birthing a new life form. We have the power within ourselves, and this is the Kundalini energy. That power can be released. And when it's released, it's the energy of transformation. It's the energy of spiritual evolution that ascends up to the higher centers. The Kundalini energy lies dormant at the base of the spine, in the root chakra. Now keep in mind the chakras are not in the physical body, but we have what's called a subtle physical body. The subtle physical body is like the next dimension closest to the physical dimension. It would be in what's called the astral dimension. It's a body of energy. It's a body of a network of channels, fibers of light that have intersection points and main junction points at these energy centers called chakras. There are 7 primary chakras from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the head. 6 in particular that go up to the third eye, and then the 7th, the crown chakra, is not quite connected to the first 6. The first 6 chakras, from the base of the spine to the sex organs to the navel to the heart, throat, and third eye, they are all connected via a central nerve channel, a central energy channel, a pathway called the Sushumna. The Sushumna is the main channel that the Kundalini rises up through. And just as all of life is a mirror and reflects itself in many different ways, the physical body obviously we have a main channel in the spinal column. It's very important. So, likewise, in the energy body, in what's called the subtle physical body, the main energy channel is very important. Because without energy, without the release of power in the beginning, there's not much action, there's not much movement, there's not much change that'll take place. You know, it takes a tremendous amount of willpower in order to change. You want to change your body, you want to change your life, you want to make leaps, you want to start a new career, you want to go to school, you want to get an education. This takes a decision, and then it takes a follow-through and a commitment and then a consistency. And all of this requires power. It requires energy. You know, the days when you feel down and you don't have a lot of energy, it's difficult to have a good mood. It's difficult to do much when you don't have energy. And so we drink our coffee and we do what's necessary to get us through the day. And personally, I don't have any problem with coffee. I love a cup of coffee in the morning. It helps wake you up. But then we sit down to meditate, and depending on what style or technique that you're practicing, either something comes of it or something doesn't come of it. Is it enough for you to just be sitting down to meditate every day? Or are you more results driven? Are you someone who's looking to actually get something from your daily practice? You know, we put in an investment into something and we expect a return. Oftentimes, there are times when we don't get a return in our investment. Well, maybe was it a bad investment, or did we maybe not put enough in order to get enough back? In this particular technique that I'm sharing with you every day here, I call it the 5 steps to stillness. And it involves taking your concentration and moving it through into subtler forms. So from concentration to consciousness. You see, everything is consciousness. You've heard this before. We're made of consciousness. Consciousness is all-pervading. Consciousness is the essence of all things. And it's true. I believe it. And maybe you believe it too. Then not only does it make sense on a logical level, but you can test it for yourself. When you go deep into your meditation and you go past the layers of conditioning, past the layers of identity, beyond the I, what's prior to that, even prior to the I? It's the consciousness. You see, something has to be containing all of this. There's got to be something that's dreaming all of this. Is it you? Is it me? Well, yes, to a certain degree. But we are a fractal of the whole. If you go into the whole, there's a large mind that's dreaming all of this. This large mind, you call it the Godhead, the mind of God, whatever you want to call it. It's pure consciousness. It's prior to all things. It sustains all things, and it's where all things return to. It's what all things are made of. Consciousness. So the reason why I call this technique from concentration to consciousness is because consciousness is already here. But we feel that we're separate. We feel we're separate due to the conditioning of our minds, due to the education that we've received in this lifetime, due to the identity that we've accumulated and accrued over this lifetime and many lifetimes prior. So, we've become attached to the body, we've become attached to the identity, and this creates this sense of apparent separation from the whole. And in meditation, in yoga, we seek to reunite with the whole. The true meaning of yoga is union with consciousness. So in order to do that, we first have to get out of the way. And for many folks that try meditation, that's probably one of the most difficult parts. It's just getting out of the way. Meaning getting past our attachments to the body, our attachments to the senses, our attachments to the mind, the thoughts. So within this technique, you begin by using a very powerful concentration method. This concentration method is done with the eyes open, looking at what's called a Shri Yantra. The Shri Yantra is available for free download at the top of the group. If you're not in the group, you should join the group. The group is called Meditation and Mindfulness. If you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And then come on over to the group. This group I formed a while ago in order to share everything I know about meditation, because I feel that there's a lot of information about meditation out there that's incomplete. And I'm here to offer everything I've ever learned about meditation, because I feel that what I've done in my practice, the techniques that I use, they work. It's nothing that I invented. I learned from a teacher. And in life, we have to humble ourselves and learn from teachers. And then one day maybe we'll become the teacher and then share information. So with this technique, you begin with a very intense focus of concentration using your eyes. Because your eyes are your dominant sense, it's very easy to interrupt this flow of thought just by staring at the dot in the center of the yantra. Once we've warmed up our concentration there, and we've kind of got a good sense of bringing ourselves back to a focus, a concentrative focus, then we move inwardly and we focus on first the navel chakra. Still with an intense, concentrative focus, feeling the spot now. We're not using any particular sense any longer. There's no visualization. There's no... well, in the beginning you can use your finger to kind of focus your attention on that spot. But once you kind of honed in and locked in on that spot, you can remove the finger and then hold your attention there to feel that spot. Okay, my computer does all sorts of crazy stuff here. So, now by focusing on the navel chakra, you will evoke the Kundalini energy, because the navel chakra is very close to the root chakra. It's very close to the spleen chakra or sex chakra. So you might begin to have feelings of like arousal, which is okay because we're transmuting that energy into higher, more purified, refined forms of energy, which will take us into higher states of consciousness. You see, it takes energy to reach higher states of consciousness. It takes power. So this is why power is very important. So when we focus on the navel chakra, we're releasing a lot of that raw power. Then the next step, what's called the third step, we got step 1, yantra, step 2, navel, step 3, heart chakra. When we focus on the heart chakra, that's really where the meditation begins, because as we move up to the heart chakra, the heart center, we're moving into more refined states. We're moving into states beyond the raw power. We're moving now into states of refinement, of beauty, of love, of balance, of joy, and eventually ecstasy. Not the drug ecstasy. That's kids' play compared to the ecstasy that you can experience in meditation, that I've experienced in meditation. You see, there's a real reason why this meditation stuff works. It's real. But you can't expect it to happen just like that. There's got to be some practice involved. There's got to be some serious effort put forth in order to achieve true stability in your meditative practice. Your whole life has to change. Your whole life has to become meditation, which is why the dual practice of meditation and mindfulness throughout the day is extremely important for success. How well you meditate is how well your mindfulness will be for that day. How well your mindfulness is for that day is how good your meditation will be at the end of the day, and so on and so on. So the two are absolutely intertwined, intimately intertwined. So as we're in the heart chakra, we begin to feel subtle forms of energy. We're still in the concentration mode, but we're feeling with less effort. And then we progress up to the fourth step. In the fourth step, we move up to the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra, the chakra of knowledge, wisdom, the chakra of seeing. And here we are complete. We have power, balance, and wisdom. At this point, there's a true stillness that begins to take place within our being. If we've done a good job in the first couple chakras, we've reached a sort of momentum with the stillness. And things are starting to become still. You might begin to see light. And the ability to hold the concentration there is basically effortless. We just feel the spot. You're beginning to return to consciousness, from concentration to consciousness, because consciousness is all pervading. It's always already there. But we just kind of had to bring ourselves up to that point, get out of the way, and then consciousness will take control after that. So we don't need to do anything, which is what the fifth step is. The fifth step is when we remove control, we remove the concentration, and we just let go and let consciousness guide us. We merge into consciousness. We don't need to do anything at that point. We just allow for consciousness to guide us at that point. And in the fifth step, there's really nothing to do. It's a non-doing. And we simply, continue to be still and let go and allow. Thoughts may still arise. Perception may still want to cling to our tendencies of attention, of looking, listening, of feeling the body. But if we just be still and kind of ignore those things and just rest in consciousness, eventually any sense of self will begin to dissolve. And in this dissolution of self is the true journey of yoga, to unite, the union of the finite with the infinite, the return of the separativity into the whole, the wholeness, the oneness, unity consciousness. All right, so let's move into our meditation. Here we go. We've got our phones in airplane mode. Take a big deep breath.